Greetings and welcome to the Art by Troy Thomas vlog, episode number 2. It's been a long time since episode number 1, but I'm finally getting around to putting this one out. If you've watched episode number 1, you know that was not my intended content for episode number 1. Matter of fact, the content of this vlog was supposed to be episode number 1. So if you did not watch episode number 1, first of all, feel free to go back and watch that. But if not, I'll just give you a quick summary of what that was about. Right before I made that vlog, we had tropical storm Eta roll through the Tampa Bay area, and my home got flooded. So that changed all of my plans. I had a lot of artwork that got destroyed, and I decided to make a quick vlog and put that out there with the current event at that time. Because I had laid out a bunch of artwork on the side of the road and people wanted to come by and pick it up. Now I'm finally getting around to making this episode number 2. In this episode, I'm going to talk about myself a little bit, give you a little history of who I am and who I am as an artist, and I invite you to stick around and maybe you can learn a little bit about me. I actually recorded a bunch of footage a couple weeks ago that I was going to put out as vlog number 2. But then when I started editing it, I just didn't like what I was saying. I missed a bunch of stuff that I wanted to put out in it. Basically, I'm just not that comfortable talking to the camera. See, as of right now, I'm having trouble. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just make a video. If I stumble, if I miss stuff, too bad. I'm going to put this out. And as you continue to watch my vlog series, you will hopefully find out that I'm going to get better at this. So, alright, here we go. Who is Troy Thomas? Well, short answer is, it's me. But you probably want a little bit more expanded answer on that. So, let's back up a little bit. I grew up in a small town in northeast Ohio. Ashtabula to be exact. It's a small town about 50 miles east of Cleveland, right on Lake Erie. I learned at an early age that I really enjoyed doing art, but I really didn't get into art a whole lot until actually my sophomore year is when I first started taking art classes, but nothing too serious at that point. After high school, I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, but that got very expensive and I just couldn't afford it. So I dropped out of the Art Institute, went back home, eventually joined the military, went to the military, the Army, U.S. Army, for 4 years, and then after that I got out, but I went to the National Guard. But shortly after that, I went to Kent State University. I was taking graphic design classes. That only lasted, what, it was about a year or two? I think 2 years is what I went to Kent State for. I just didn't like being forced to do art that I really didn't want to do. So I ended up dropping out of Kent State and then going to broadcasting school. Kind of scrapped my idea of becoming an artist and changed my career ideas, and yeah, broadcasting school it was. I actually excelled quite well at broadcasting, pretty much top of my class. Originally I was going to go into radio broadcasting, but halfway through the course I decided to switch and I ended up going into TV broadcasting. And well, after I graduated that program, I did a little bit of freelance stuff, but then I got deployed to Iraq. After that deployment was done, my National Guard career was done, military in general was done. After 12 and a half years of military service, I was done. So let's back up again. You know, I never really gave up my passion of art. I still did a lot of drawing and little things here and there, but nothing too serious. Before I went to Iraq, I bought some art supplies. I bought some sketch pads and some Micron markers, and I actually did some drawing when I was in Iraq, when I wasn't out on a patrol or something like that. You know, I was back in our area, and in my free time I actually did a lot of art. When I came home on leave, shortly before the end of my deployment, I decided to use some of my savings, bought some canvases, I bought some acrylic paint, and I started painting. I didn't finish the painting, but when I came back from deployment, I went right back to it again. Shortly after my deployment was over, I moved to Florida, and then first in Cape Coral, then I moved to Fort Myers. And when I was in Fort Myers, I actually met some other artists, and I really started getting back into art at that point. It was nice to have some friends that were artists. They invited me to work in the gallery with them, and it was just a fun time. And I learned that, hey, my art career may not be over as I thought it was. I could still get back into it. So I've already mentioned that I learned at a young age that I was interested in art. But as far as like when I remember, like my earliest memory, I remember when I was 7 years old, there was an advertisement in the TV guide for the art instruction schools. And it had a couple of illustrations, and it invited you to draw these illustrations and see how well you compared to what was in this advertisement. I drew one of them, and I was really happy. I thought it looked exactly like it. I wanted to submit my drawing, and then I happened to notice you had to be at least 12 years old in order to like win any prizes for it. So I had to wait. So that's basically when I realized I was an artist. I actually enjoy creating many types of art, but the two most common types of art that I like to create are paintings and drawings. With the paintings, I like to create larger paintings, usually larger paintings, but I do smaller ones also, on canvas, sometimes wood panels, and I use acrylic paint for those. As far as the drawings, I use pens. I use a pencil for the initial sketch, but for the completed piece, I use ballpoint pen or gel pen. I actually haven't done ballpoint pen in a few years, because once I found out gel pens, at least the gel pens that I use, have archival ink, I've pretty much exclusively done gel pens since then. But yeah, so since I was, I already mentioned when I came back from Iraq, that's when I really got into it. So that's when I really started getting into the painting. I've been painting ever since, but about 11 years ago, maybe, something like that, I picked up the pen and started doing all these pen drawings that I'll get more into later on. And when I said later, I really meant next question. So, alright, let's get in and describe how I do these ink drawings. The simple answer is I scribble. I scribble all over the whole sheet of paper and come up with an artwork. But let's go into detail a little bit more. Of course, first of all, I usually use a pencil and sketch out a design. And then I use a pen. Used to use ballpoint pen, but now I am almost exclusively using gel pens. And then I just scribble all over the whole sheet of paper. Sometimes it's with a single color, sometimes I use 2 or 3 colors mixed into just like one field. So that's kind of based off of the theory of divisionism, which is where you're using multiple colors. When you see it up close, you can see those multiple colors, but then you get back a distance and your eye can only see one color. Your eye kind of like mixes them all together and you only see the one color. So that's basically what I've been doing with my ink drawings, and I've been doing that for the last 11 years or so. There's actually a few reasons why I chose 11 by 14 to be the most common size that I do the drawings in. First of all, it's one of the most common sizes that I can find as far as art papers go. You've got 5 by 7, you got 8 by 10. Regular school paper is usually 8.5 by 11. You got 9 by 12, which is another common size. The next size up is the 11 by 14, which I like to create drawings in. Then there's a few other sizes up from there. They're all common sizes. Another reason is because since it is a common size that you could find for paper, it's also a common size for frames. And I wanted to have my collectors to be able to find frames easy and cheap if they want to go that route, because you can find 11-inch by 14-inch frames just about anywhere that sells frames. Probably the biggest reason why I go 11 by 14 and not bigger is because that's about as big as I can get for the scanner that I have. If I had a scanner that did larger sizes, I would definitely do a lot more drawings in the larger sizes. So there's the three main reasons. Availability for the paper, availability for the frames for my collectors, and just for scanning purposes. There you go. I like to do a lot of photography. Yeah, I've recently discovered the art of street photography, so I've been doing that a lot in the last like 2 years. Well, not quite 2 years, maybe like a year and a half. But I'm really enjoying that, just grabbing the camera, going downtown, and just shooting the life of the streets without people knowing that they're being photographed, for one, just because it's more authentic. If people knew they were being photographed, they would pose or they would act differently in front of the camera. So I like to shoot street photography without the people knowing they're being the subject of my photographs. As far as other art, there's not really a whole lot I do right now. So just the painting, the drawing, which I really don't do much painting now. So mostly drawing and photography for right now. But I've also dabbled in the past with glass fusion. That was a lot of fun. A little bit into ceramics. I took a ceramics course probably about a year and a half ago now. That was a lot of fun. I wish I could do more, but I just don't have the space to do that. And I'm involved with a lot of other art stuff as it is already. But for right now, it's just the drawing and photography and sometimes painting. I find inspiration all over the place. Anywhere from other artists to stuff I see when I'm driving around, and then other times when I'm just walking around out in nature. As far as the artists go, it's not exactly like the type of art they do or the subject matter, but just I enjoy seeing their art and it just inspires me to be creative. When I'm driving around, sometimes I'll see advertisements or just industrial things, just the way they interact with each other. It just might make me think of a certain design or something, and I actually usually have a very small sketch pad in my truck, and if I'm at a stop sign or if without cars behind me, or if I'm at a red light, I'll actually pick up that sketch pad and make a real quick sketch. That way maybe later on I'll go back, revisit that sketch and make a drawing or a painting from that. And then when I'm out in nature, there are a lot of designs in nature that are really, really interesting, and sometimes I will incorporate those designs into my own designs in the artwork. So this question is going to be a little tough to answer. If I would put this video out when I originally wanted to, this answer would have been completely different. However, since we had that flood and then all my plans changed, that's really affecting what I'm going to do moving forward. For one, I want to get out of the home that I'm in now, get out of this flood zone, and that might mean moving across town to a different place, or I might just pick up and move to a different state. I'm kind of thinking the latter is what's going to happen. So, I'm kind of up in the air. Definitely I'm going to keep creating the drawings, and I'm going to keep doing the photography because those are easy to do. As far as the painting, I kind of want to put a pause on that because I have a lot of blank canvases and I have a lot of finished paintings that are just like taking up a lot of space, and if I'm going to be moving, that's a lot of work to move all of this artwork. So I kind of want to like sell almost like all of my paintings and maybe start pretty new from wherever I move to next. But who knows? I mean, first I got to be able to sell the paintings, which I got to find people that want to buy them. So I really don't know how to answer this question. keep following the vlog series, and you'll hopefully find an answer to this within the next few vlogs. I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, that's it for that question. Well, I hope you learned something and enjoyed those 8 questions and responses. If you did, I would appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up button for me. It helps me out a lot. Also, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. And after you subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you can be notified whenever I put new content out. So I'm glad you stuck around to the end. I don't know how often I'm going to be doing this in the future. Hopefully vlog number 3 doesn't take as long as vlog number 2 took to put out. But we'll see. Kind of depends on what's going on with my whole situation with work and moving and all that stuff. Wherever I move to next, I'm hoping to have a dedicated space so I can record videos inside my home rather than trying to find a park, which I gotta deal with the shadows of the tree or the sounds of nature or people driving by doing yard work or whatever. Hopefully I can have a dedicated space within my home so I can have good lighting, controlled lighting that is. It may not be good. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, and please, I invite you to come back and watch some more videos. In the meantime, have a great and artful day.